Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Evil Men by Menon.
Oh, I used to love that little thing.
Yeah, I know.
By Menon. Back in the when we were young,
Back in the day.
so many commercials had little songs like that they don't do that anymore.
Gillette, the best a man can get. So
Holy shit.
I know this through Suze Kempner.
Good call.
The composer of Gillette, a best a man can get, is a guy named John Parr who sang that song.
Oh.
St. Elmo's Fire.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Man in Motion. And at his concerts, he would sing the Gillette, a best a man can get song, and it was expanded like it was a full song, but he would perform it
Just
at
like a
concerts.
Grateful Dead jam.
My God, that's so funny.
And he probably made
Gillette.
like the same more money from that than his St. Elmo's Fire song probably.
Picture like everything, every instrument going silent and just doing like a clap repeat chorus for a long time with the whole crowd. Gillette. The best trumpet.
Not just the guys.
yeah.
Not just the ladies.
It's a horny little song.
Horny little song and earworm.
Remember this
Which
one?
is weird because it's about razors.
Yeah, true. Well, you shave your pubes and remember this
That's
one?
one of the verses in the song. Like, well, you shave your beard and you shave your pubes. Gillette, the best.
Also, you shave your pubes, not just your face.
Well, in the original commercial, they cut this scene, but a sexy woman in the commercial was shaving her man's pubes into a sort of a landing strip.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that was in the Gillette commercial,
Yeah.
the cutting room floor.
People forget commercials in the 90s were pretty much softcore porn.
Oh yeah,
Like, you would see
the
it
hostess
happening,
munchies all
you just
fucked
wouldn't
each
see
other.
insertion. I know.
Yeah.
They just didn't have insertion, but it was close.
Yeah, you'd simulate. So you'd see
Yeah.
the hostess munchie riding the other munchie, but there'd be
Yeah.
a sheet covering the private parts.
In the 80s, Snap, Crackle, and Pop had huge boners.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the snap, crackle, pop sound was unfortunately actually the sound of snap, fucking crackle in the ass.
It was,
Yeah.
It was a different time.
Popping his ass cherry.
It's crazy. It
It's
was a
crazy.
different time. I mean,
It was the
no,
90s.
the better time.
That's pre 9/11 for the young
9/11.
people out there.
Changed everything.
9/11 changed everything.
You have no idea how awesome America was pre 9/11.
Oh yeah.
Remember there's that shampoo commercial where it was basically a woman rubbing the shampoo into her scalp and hair, and she was like moaning like an
Yes,
an orgasm?
herbal essences.
Yeah. And then there was another commercial where a guy was shampooing his hair on the toilet, and you could hear him taking a dump.
Yes, I remember that.
wow.
And he had brought the toilet. He got it made so that it was in the shower.
Yeah.
So the shower's still going on him while he's taking a dump.
And the camera sort of like panned down, and you could see what was coming out of him. It was pretty gross. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'd pixelate it as it was coming out, but then the pixels would stop as it was fully out and dropping. You'd see it.
Well, this was pre-woke mind virus when you
Yeah.
could
Oh,
show a guy
God.
shitting in a commercial and it was fine.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
It was very,
Jesus
it
Christ.
was very nice.
This person held the door open for me at the grocery store the other day, and I walked right in because, okay. And they're like, oh, you're welcome. And it's like, I guess because I didn't say thank you or whatever, it's like, woke mind virus strikes again, eh?
Yeah,
I'm supposed
yeah.
to say thank you to someone now? Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck is this shit?
That's
Yeah.
weak-minded behavior to say thank you.
Being polite is
Yeah.
weak, and I will fucking destroy you.
Can I tell you guys something? I've
Yes.
been meaning to talk about.
Please. I love it.
I had dinner with my mom the other day, and during our dinner, she told me that DNA testing has discovered the true identity of Jack the Ripper.
Yes.
And he was a Polish man, not a like a relation to the royal family as some people thought. He was
Yeah.
some Polish guy living in London,
Damn.
and it made me think: should they call him Jack the Ripnewski?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Should they call him that now?
Oh.
Well, how many
Yeah.
Jack the Rippers does it take to screw in a light bulb?
He was just a really bad kisser.
Or like Johann.
That's what happened.
Johann the Ripper,
Johann
or
the
I don't
Ripper.
know. Yeah.
No, that totally makes
Spignu.
sense.
Yeah.
I like
Pierogi the Ripper. Yep.
the first time I ever heard of the deeds that Jack the Ripper did. I was like, check all the Polish guys.
Yeah, it's
It's a
serving
Polak.
it's serving Polish. What that guy did.
Yeah. A dead prostitute in an alleyway. That's serving Polak.
But we want to also make it clear that we don't agree with what Jack the Ripper did, regardless of his nationality, which I have just announced was Polish.
Can I ask to anybody listening as well? Is Polak like regular?
I think it's a slur.
Oh my God. Okay. I apologize.
Jerry
I thought it was
Lewis-
like, you know,
yeah.
like Ontarian.
But you were asking. You didn't.
I thought
know.
it was like
It's okay to
Ontarian or
ask, yeah.
Torontonian.
Luckily, though, it's
Or
another.
Canadian.
It's a white. There are white people, so I think it's basically okay to
Yeah.
say it.
Yeah.
That's what my take is going to be.
Yeah, it's your time to feel bad, Polish people. You've had it good forever.
They had it really good in the 20th century.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. They're,
Hey, they had a
they're
pope.
due, for sure.
They had a
Well, that's
pope.
true.
What more do you want?
That's true.
Current pope is sick.
They had a pope and
Yeah.
a ripper.
Yeah, that's every country's dream.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but the current Pope Francis is sick in the hospital with bronchitis.
Yeah.
I had that as a kid. Got over it pretty quickly, so I don't know what the pontiff's problem is.
I can't believe God wants him to have bronchitis.
It's a blessing.
I'm coming, Papa. Like, yeah. I
Mike-
hope he gets better, but I also hope he doesn't, because then he gets to go to where he wants to go.
Well, that's true.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Mike, we had a tour guide in Argentina. I didn't know this, that he was a socialist, the current pope.
See, I've heard. So I knew he was from Argentina, and I know that people in America especially think he's like a left-wing woke pope.
Yeah.
But I also heard that he had somewhat collaborated with the military dictatorship, and I don't know
Interesting.
enough about him.
Well, the guide there was a cool guy, and he basically said he was like a left-wing socialist, but at the end of the day, he's still a Catholic priest, basically.
Right.
But it was a kind of a nuanced take on the Pope. It made me like him a bit more than the guy who looked like the Emperor from Star Wars. What was that guy's name?
Ratzinger.
Oh, I hated
Yeah.
Ratzinger. Just
Yeah.
look alone. Sorry, not gonna work.
Yeah, he had those like red guards too, and the all red suits.
He was serving Star Wars.
Yeah, he was.
The bad guys, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not Princess Leia.
Or Luke.
Yeah, it was the first time they created more of like a death metal font for the word Pope when they put it on stuff. Kind of jagged, sharp, with gleaming, sparkles on it, like it was like a sharpened axe. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
The Pope logo. That
Yeah, it was
had a
hard to
Pope.
read. 'cause
I had his,
yeah.
I had his version of a Pope sticker put on my bottom of my skateboard. It was pretty sick.
We're recording this in the midst of in the aftermath of a snowstorm, but two of the three of us have been away from Canada.
Yeah, tell us all
Previously.
about it. I've been deeply embedded in Canada, so I got nothing.
We heard about the tensions between America and Canada and said we're going to get the hell out of here. But you stayed to protect Canada.
I stayed right at the border going, bring it. Bring it.
Nice.
Bring it.
Mooning them.
Bring it, eh?
Bring it, eh?
Honestly, I've been like trapped inside for 5 days because of all these snowstorms, just getting fat, eating chips, and drinking booze.
Nice.
So I guess I kind of took, and my kids are still visiting their other grandmother, Nana, and so
So
we've had a little vacation, but we've been snowed in, so I feel all bloated and bizarre.
So it wasn't like a.
This is my first time
sexy-
out of my house,
'cause
basically.
I don't have kids, but I imagine the idea of when
Yeah.
the kids are away for the weekend, let's get a little sexy, honey. But instead, it's like, well, or eat a lot of
Both.
chips.
We
okay.
do. But here's the thing. Oh, this is a good point to bring up.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. We do both. We got Indian
Okay.
food one night.
Oh, that's gonna be
Sexy.
that's gonna be a hot night.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, the point I'm getting at is, yeah, we indulged in food and booze and weed gummies, obviously.
Nice.
And then, but yeah, you're also, your belly is a bit bloated. You're full of salty foods. So it makes me think like, okay, back in like ancient Rome when they were having these sort of like, massive hedonistic orgies, etc., were they also bloated and being like, I need to go for a walk, or you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
were they writhing all over each other like slimy and greasy?
It probably was more like Hulk Hogan style, where he talked about how he was bloated from eating too much pasta.
I bet
to have sex with his friend's wife.
Yeah,
Like a Roman emperor.
he kept bugging his friend to have sex with him, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what Bubba the Love Sponge claimed.
That's the best.
But I think he just
He liked it.
liked to. Yeah, he secretly watched.
Let me have sex with your wife, brother. I think we did that on here, right?
Probably.
What's she gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on your wife?
He rips her shirt off. Oh,
It felt more like to me the guy was like, Hulk, you better not have sex with my wife. Huh? Listen, I'm telling you, don't have sex with my wife.
What?
Okay, fine. Have sex with her. Like, that's how I feel like it went. And Hulk was like, all right.
have sex with your wife, brother. The thing is you guys went away on these massive vacations, and it already came back to me talking about my isolated tiny little
Dick?
No, but I got to tell you guys something crazy. So you know how I'm always complaining about having a small dick?
Yeah.
There's an advertisement for pills that you can buy on porn sites beside the porn video that you watch.
That's awesome.
Really?
I bought them. They came
Yeah.
in the mail. I started eating them.
Yeah.
I've literally got a huge dick now. It's 4 to 6
Hey.
inches bigger.
Congratulations.
So
From
it's like-
pills from a porno website.
Holy shit. So you have a
That's-
5 to 7 inch dick now? Whoa.
I got, it's that much bigger.
you know,
Yeah,
that's
it went from it looks like Pinocchio lied his ass off.
That's awesome, dude. And you were just watching a porn video and that just popped up?
Imagine Pinocchio's mouth looked like balls.
that's not in the original fairy tale, Chris.
Damn.
No, but
Well, that's a
I'm
nice
okay. If for
thing.
anyone listening,
Yeah.
any ad that you see on a porno website beside the video, take them seriously. Those pills work.
Wow. That's really
They're
awesome.
very good.
It's
I get
awesome.
ads on. Sorry to interrupt, Mike. I get ads on my Instagram for it's like phoenix.ca, and it's always a pretty girl saying, you know, my boyfriend takes these pills, and now he really wants to have sex with me.
Yeah,
So I'm thinking about getting some of those.
they're anti-gay pills, I guess.
yeah, yeah,
Now he's looking at me. He's paying attention to me. It's nuts.
yeah.
Um,
They actually, this is a bit of a misogynist thing to say, I guess, but wouldn't it make more sense if the lady in the ad wasn't conventionally attractive, and the non-conventionally attractive woman was saying, "Take these pills, my husband wants to have sex with me." You know what I mean?
because she can't give him a boner naturally?
Well,
is that
yes,
Is that what
this
you're
There
is-
saying?
should be There
Okay.
should be like, there should
Right.
be like, what's it
This
called?
is-
There should be pills that non-attractive women can buy.
and also men, and also, hey, some fat dumpy husband can give to his wife to make her go.
Speaking,
Yeah, like
I need those.
this is not a one-way street by any means.
Honey, I got pills for you.
It's like Peter Griffin looking guy.
Like me.
No, dude.
Oh,
no
I'm
way.
a homunculus this winter.
No, you're not.
Winter
I've been snowstormed
homunculus.
in. I've been eating Indian food and writhing around going, take this pill, my dear.
But while you're on the toilet, you're like,
Take this pill. By the time I'm off the toilet, you will be attracted to me again. These pills are amazing. I think I did hear of Phoenix.ca.
oh yeah, I get that a lot.
In the
For
algo?
some
I get
reason, yeah.
a lot of ads for like, if you're $50, if you're 50 years or older, here's a sit down in a chair workout you can do if you're
Yes.
a big fat guy with a beard. It's always like a guy with a huge beard
Yeah.
just sitting in a chair going like, and bending over a chair.
Yeah.
Do you
I
guys-
can't believe it. I've
That's my
got the
new
farts
workout.
out. Yeah.
Well, do you guys get ones for fat guy T-shirts? I get that a lot.
No.
Like
Where you
T-shirts
go-
for fat guys.
They fit you and make you look jacked.
yeah.
Fat guy t-shirt.
Yeah, and they always have babes walking by going like,
Yeah.
I love your shirt now.
Yeah. Like, wow, she doesn't
I
know that I'm
forgive
fat.
you.
Yeah. Keep the shirt on.
Yeah. Well, speaking of
They
shirts,
show guys wearing those shirts getting into hot tubs and stuff.
Speaking of taking your shirt off or leaving your
Yes,
shirt on, James, you
yes.
were just in a hot
Mm-hmm.
location called Mexico.
There we go.
Did
Yes.
you take your
Mike
shirt off?
is so good at
Did
that.
you leave it on or
no,
take it
I had
off?
my shirt off. My whole body was tanned. I was really impressed.
Nice.
And actually, I had one sort of funny story. I flew down alone, and so I had one flight to Mexico City, and then the second flight was on a much smaller plane, and I was
Right.
sitting next to some random 50-year-old guy.
Giving me John Denver vibes, JFK Jr. vibes.
Yes. Well, that's how it felt, because I guess it took off, and then, as it ascends, and it can be a little rocky as the plane's still ascending.
Rocky
and
Mountain High.
Rocky Mountain High, giving me
Yeah.
John Denver vibes.
Did you hear, by the way, just to digress for 2 seconds, before John Denver's last flight, the pilot asked him if he wanted to have a shower before, and he said, no, it's okay. I'll just wash up on shore.
He said that.
That's a good one.
That is wild.
He said
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Anyway, so I'm not too nervous of flyer, but I will admit,
Yeah.
when it's kind of going up and you can feel it tilted and it gets a little hairy, I can get nervous for sure. And this happened. It was quite a bad takeoff, and we're kind of taking off. And when you feel the plane kind of drop,
Yeah.
and it was shaking.
How many seats would this plane have been?
It wasn't tiny, but it was like 2 seats per side, and just one section. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I was just.
Those are fun.
I had a long day. I didn't really sleep. I was stressed out. And I just turned to the stranger beside me, this man, and I'm like, I think I have to look to him for comfort because I don't know what else to do. And I literally turned to the stranger, and I'm like, oh man, I'm nervous. I hate this. And he was so nice. This 55-year-old guy. He instantly took on some kind of fatherly role with me. He said like, oh, don't worry, man. I look at this flight attendants, and if they're not worried, I'm not worried. And he's like, let me try to distract you. Like he tried to distract me. He was so nice. Anyway, we get to talking. He's an American guy. He's a drummer. He was there to play a show. He was an alcoholic so badly that he thought he was going to die, but he quit. He's on Ozempic, and he's a Trumper.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah. So yeah, this,
So a Trumper was nice to you.
Now here's what I will
There
say.
you go.
Do you know
That's
what
awesome.
band he played in?
He played drums in a million bands.
Right.
I will say, and I mean this with all due respect to that guy, he was a sweet guy. He was very dumb. He didn't know. We're talking about stuff, and he didn't know the difference between Washington State and Washington D.C.
Mhm.
He lives in California. I'm like, that's like a few hours from you.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Right.
so he was nice, and I tried to gently explain why Canada doesn't love Trump right now. But he had helped me already, so I was nice to him.
Yeah.
He was a nice guy. He was just a bit of a dope.
That's the thing that I feel like hardcore conservative right-wing people and hardcore lefties, the sense of community needs to come back. That really helps people chill out.
I was
and
bridging the
what?
gap between our partisan.
This could be a business
Incredible.
idea, James, where you take people who can't see eye to eye, you put them on a rickety plane and shoot them in the sky, lots of turbulence, and they have to find some sort of middle ground.
Yeah.
Because they're afraid of dying, and they have to put their differences beside.
Have you guys read Watchmen? Alan Moore's Watchmen?
Yes.
Oh, the alien has to.
The turbulence is the alien
Yes,
in
They
this sense.
faked.
Yes.
They faked aliens, right, just to unite the world. Wasn't that
a
it?
fake alien
Yeah.
that Ozymandias made up
Spoiler alert.
explodes in Manhattan.
Yes.
And that was his grand plan. He was going to sacrifice a few million people with the explosion, but then the world comes together because they realize something beyond them has shook the core of their understanding of the whole freaking universe. I say turbulence in a small factor is the same thing.
with a dumb drummer from California.
Yeah. Yes.
Put dumb trumpers on a plane and go, I'm scared of turbulence. One at a time, we will win them back.
You know what I do when I'm feeling scared, little buddy? I go.
Yeah. I asked him why he.
Boom tit tit.
I bang on something.
I asked him why he liked Trump, and he was just like, "Well, I guess I just think he's going to get things done."
What
He didn't have
things?
any thoughts beyond that. He was just a
Interesting.
simple guy.
Right. Well,
And he
Glad
was nice.
he-
He invited me to his show on the beach that I didn't go to, but he was a nice guy.
you
Oh,
think-
that is nice.
is there any chance that this man may have been grooming you?
I know, it reminds me of like Call Me By My Name or Your Name or whatever. I've never seen it,
Like
but I
grooming me
imagine that
to-
this is how it starts.
Like grooming me sexually?
Yes.
Well, he wasn't combing your hair.
Well,
He was a daddy.
he wasn't far. Right. Well, he
He
could have
almost
been
combed your. He
grooming
did.
me. No.
Did he move some hair out of your eyes?
Now that he's mentioned it, he did. No, because he talked about how the singer in his band was he was like, she cleans up real pretty, hey? Because he showed me the Instagram photo of their band.
And it was a.
And it was
pretty
just a
dude?
woman. And
Oh,
no,
okay.
it was a woman. Anyway. But Mexico was great. I got tan. I got my sun on. I got my drink on.
Nice.
And
I love cocktails on the
went
beach.
with Ebony's family. Her dad's really funny. Yeah, that's about it.
Nice.
Well, can I tell I'll give you a little glimpse at my recent trip to the UK. Didn't see the sun, didn't get a tan. But it was Susan's birthday, and I was a little devil.
No.
But a good devil. We went into London. And
the UK saps color out of your skin, right? Yeah.
she was in the hotel, and I said, I have to go run an errand. What I actually was doing is I had ordered a cake to be made for her birthday, and I picked it up, and then I stored it in the hotel's restaurant fridge, right?
Wow.
Then we went to her party later that evening, and I slipped away from the party without saying a word to anybody, took an Uber back to the hotel,
Went to a strip club.
got the cake, yeah, and I got addicted to meth. Got the cake, and I had pre-bought a lighter, candles, plates,
My goodness.
napkins, forks, and I had taken a big knife from her house to cut the cake. And I took an Uber back across London Bridge to the cocktail bar where her party was. And the doorman saw me with the big thing. I was like, it's a birthday cake. And he had seen me leave like 10 minutes earlier. So he waved me in. And I brought the cake down. Everyone thought it was nice and good. We lit the candles and stuff. And then I pulled out the knife, and everyone was like, oh my God, you just snuck a huge knife into a London nightclub. How did you do that? That's like really bad.
It is
That's
funny
amazing.
that you didn't think they'd have a knife. Like you didn't think.
I didn't want to rely on anybody
Yeah,
for
yeah.
any part of it. You know what I mean? But
Did you get in trouble?
no, but
That's really
if the
funny.
guy had seen the knife, he would have been like, you obviously can't bring a knife
Yeah.
into this club in a
That's
city that
hilarious.
is struggling with knife crime. But I guess
Yeah.
I looked
That would've
trustworthy
been
enough.
nuts. That's so funny.
I wonder if a lot of regular knife criminals in London buy cakes to get into scraps with people they want to stab.
We got a cake.
The
No
cake-
big deal.
It's a cake, that's all.
Cake gang strikes again.
Yeah.
40 dead.
They're dead, but with cake all over their face. Stab wounds in the stomach.
So yeah,
But that's really nice of you. Thoughtful. It's the night.
and I stabbed everyone.
We've had Suze on
You stabbed Suze.
Yeah.
the most. But you've never done anything nice like that for James or I. That's too nice.
That's true.
No,
What
remember
the
the time for your birthday last year, I snuck a gun into Roy Thompson Hall.
Right.
Oh yeah.
To shoot holes in my
Yeah.
burrito.
And James, I brought that vial of Ebola virus to your wedding.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, my
You know
aunt
what's so funny? You
did.
mentioned Roy Thompson Hall. We have for people who don't know, we have a Law and Order Toronto now.
Yeah.
And
Ebony
the-
is going to be on an episode.
oh, wicked.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's right.
Congrats.
Did she
Ebony.
play a villain or a good?
She
Tong tong.
It's well, I don't know what I can reveal, but there's a murder mystery involving a comedian, and she plays a comedian. What a stretch!
Oh, I remember that. I think I went out for that too.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. The quick ads for it on City TV or whatever, or on, they're always like dong dong,
Oh yeah.
Law and Order Toronto, but it shows Roy Thompson Hall. I think that's so funny. It's like investigating
Striking.
all the crimes at Roy Thompson Hall.
Yeah, the sort of.
But it's just because it's a cool looking
The
building.
classiest
The
sort
Toronto Symphony Orchestra
Yeah,
are involved in a crime.
Yeah.
And also there'll be a Legend of Zelda live orchestral performance.
Yes.
We found a dead body in a tuba.
Gentlemen, before we get to this week's Evil Men, let me tell you something. We have a Patreon account that you can find at patreon.com/evilmen.
Oh.
And as a listener, if you sign up for it and pay us just a little bit each month, probably the price of a damn coffee.
It's like paying the toll to cross the river Styx.
Yes. You get
And we're the trolls underneath the
Boat.
I was thinking of bridge, and you said Styx. Oh, I'm so stupid.
if you sign up, you get 2 bonus episodes a month. We're a little behind on our bonus episode this month, but we're going to release it ASAP just because we were away. But you get 2 bonus episodes a month. You get access to all our old bonus episodes that are so funny. You get to talk with us on Discord. Oh, my God. Please check it out. Patreon.com/evilmen. You also help us out, which we're really grateful for.
Also, discounts for tickets to our live shows. And thank you to everybody who came to our show that we did in January. It was a really fun time.
Yes, it was so fun. Thank you.
Also on the Discord, I added a chips channel.
Nice.
And it's been going bonkers.
You know what?
So many good chip flavors being talked about.
Love
Chips
Like
rule.
what?
There was one today. Someone posted a bolognese.
Bolognese.
That's real?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Check it out. Only you got to pay us monthly to check it out. And thank you.
James, it's too cold to go outside today and play like you originally suggested. Chris and I have talked, and we refuse to go outside and play. So how about this? How about you instead host this episode of Evil Men, and why don't you tell us who the subject is?
I will. And I'm worried I'll mispronounce his name right off the hop. This week's topic.
Bill Cosby.
Cosbo.
This week's topic is Nicolae Ceaușescu.
Ding, 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 ding,
Does
ding,
that
ding.
sound right
Right,
to you, Mike?
right.
You're,
I think so.
You are the history master.
I think that's it. I mean, what's he going to do if you got it wrong?
Well, good point. Fun fact, I did this research 2 months ago because we thought we were going to have a guest on, and then it fell through. So I haven't looked at these notes in 2 months. So,
Yeah,
but I think I did a good job, I bet.
And this is kind of last minute put together, so it's good you had notes kicking around that
Oh,
we could
hell
just
yes.
access.
It's kind of a smart thing to do, store some up.
Store some notes.
Okay, let's get into Nicolae Ceaușescu. Now, before we begin, I remember, like, as a kid, seeing like a clip of like his execution. I feel like.
Yeah, he and his wife were executed on like Christmas
Day,
Day,
yeah.
and it was on the news, just sitting around enjoying the holidays with your family. You'd see Romanian dictator and his wife murdered, like shot, I guess, by firing
Yes.
squad.
And I mean, I think it
I
did
didn't
disturb
see
me
that.
because I still kind of remember it. I must have been about 6.
Yeah, but do you still
Ooh,
put
I
it on?
think I got like a
Yeah.
He-Man. I got maybe Skeletor's Castle that year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
To me, it's not Christmas unless you hear Fairy Tale of New York,
Mm-hmm.
unless you've got some mulled wine
Mm-hmm.
and some fruitcake, and you're watching 4K footage of the execution of Nicolae Ceaușescu.
Oh, it's part of our tradition, definitely.
And A Christmas Story by Bob Clark.
Well, let's talk about Mr. C. He was born in 1918 in a little village called Scornicesti. That sounds fake. Scornicesti.
Scorny sexy.
Yeah, it sounds like
yeah.
an incest
Scorny
website.
Right.
Anyway, he was born in Scornicesti in the northern part of Romania.
Okay.
I love their lettuce.
So there's some debate over the date of his birth because Romania only adopted the new style calendar in 1919, which moved the day forward 13 days.
So what they're using, like, what is our calendar? The Gregorian or the? What's the old one? What's the new one? There's
I don't know.
the Mesolithic, the Platonic calendar. What is our calendar?
My calendar is Garfield.
My calendar is sports.
I have a Far Side Comic of the Day calendar.
Okay, Mike. We use the Gregorian calendar, which was
Yes.
introduced in 1582 by
He's
the
so
Pope
smart.
Greg.
Pope Greg.
Gregory.
It's me, Pope Greg.
Hey, Greg.
It's a solar calendar based on the Earth's revolution around the sun. Oh, because, yeah, it takes... Okay. Huh.
Romania is back in the news today, too, right?
Yes.
Yes. And before the Romanian calendar was the Julian calendar.
Oh.
That's also a lettuce.
Julius Caesar.
Because of Julius Caesar.
Wow.
That's kind of nuts. All right. Anyway, back
Or
to
a salad.
Ceaușescu. So Ceaușescu wasn't exactly Paris Hilton. His father was a farmer. in Romania in 1919. His dad.
That's like a Romanian version of Paris Hilton.
He did have a sex tape,
Oh, nice.
but it was
him
black
getting
and white.
executed. Sorry. Okay.
So his
I'm done.
his farmer.
I'm not talking for the rest of this one.
Okay. His dad was a farmer who backed the Peasants' Party of Romania, which was a left-wing populist movement. It said his father was an alcoholic who would routinely beat his family.
Also,
Gosh.
sorry.
No, also like Paris Hilton. Yeah, I mean, that's a real trend we see in our topics.
We did see Paris Hilton beat something in a video.
That's true. And a lot of people beat something while watching it. And
Just like Ceaușescu's dad.
anyway, so Ceaușescu's childhood was a bit of a mystery, but you know, you can imagine 1920s.
Ceaușescu. Anyways.
1920s Romanian peasants. You probably get the vibe, you know. Anyway, so apparently Ceaușescu ran away from his abusive dad at 11 years old and ended up working at a shoemaker in a workshop run by a guy named Alexandru Sandulescu. And this shoemaker kind of introduced Nicolae Ceaușescu to communist ideologies because this guy was actually a member of the banned Communist Party.
Right.
So Ceaușescu basically had zero education. People said he was only like semi-literate at best, but he's making shoes, he's learning about communism, and he's like, oh, I like this.
Ideal.
I mean, I guess in theory it's a great idea. Does China still count? It's not really communist now, is it? It's
Officially, China is, communist.
But do they have wealth sharing?
It seems to have the worst aspects of both communism and hyper-capitalism. It doesn't resemble what you would think of like
This
communism if you read the Karl Marx or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know really enough about it.
Me neither.
But seems different.
Those millionaires, once they took back Hong Kong or whatever, had all their money taken, right? Or not all of it, but they got their...
Yeah, I'm not sure. Or a lot of them fled too, but
It's weird.
all because of this damn shoemaker.
Well, anyway, as a youth, Ceaușescu was arrested for street fighting during a strike, and he joined the Communist Party.
Did he fight Blanca? Blanca's
no,
Romanian, right?
no, Blanca was
Brazilian.
from Brazil. Yeah,
Yes.
good one,
Oh,
Mike.
shit.
He might have fought Zangief, who was Russian.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
Ken.
Ken from the United States.
Fuck Ken. We're mad at Ken now because we're Canadian.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
right.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
like E Honda, Dalsina.
Why are they booing our national anthem?
Yeah, I wonder why.
I wonder why. Get your head out of your ass.
Read a
Ken.
book, Ken.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever see the Street Fighter movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme, by the way?
didn't see it.
Oh, it's really good.
Does he play Ken with an accent?
But he has his European accent, and he's supposed to be Ken, the all-American guy. Also, it was Raul Julia's last movie.
I was
Oh,
gonna
wow.
say.
He played M. Bison.
That's too bad.
Right.
Anyway.
God, those were the good old times.
I know.
Who plays E Honda?
I don't remember. Oh, God. So,
Artie Lang?
Artie Lang. Yeah. It was down to Will Sasso and Artie Lang. And
Yeah, one of the big guys.
anyway, so it's the mid-1930s now, and Ceaușescu's deeply involved in Communist Party agitation. The police had a file on him, and they called him a dangerous agitator because he would distribute communist and anti-fascist literature. And Ceaușescu was put in jail for this in 1936, and he spent 3 years in Romanian jail. That can't be a walk in the park.
1936, and he was born in 1918?
Yeah,
So he's
18.
18, wow.
Wow.
That would.
That's a fast life.
Oh, yeah, it is.
But I guess he ran away at 11, got going.
Yeah, I know. Different world back then.
Yeah. By 18,
None
you
of
had to
this-
be in jail or you were like...
Mom,
Not even a real man.
I can't go to school. I'm streaming my gaming.
His
Oh,
his
God.
childhood was a lot different from ours.
Yeah, it really was.
Mom, I don't want to go to school today. I'm 40. That's our lives now.
Oh my God. So he also spent most of the Second World War in prison for the charge of trying to violate the social order. But he used this time in prison to network with other communist agitators, including a guy called Jorge Yerogui Dej. I don't know how to pronounce it. Sorry to Mr. Dej. But anyway, this dude who Ceaușescu communicated with in prison, that guy went on to become the first communist leader of Romania.
Whoa. Congrats, dude.
Look at that name. Good luck pronouncing that. G-H-E-O-R-G-H-E.
It's not exactly John Smith.
And then G-H-E-R-O-G-U-I. And then D-E-J.
It's George Georgi Dej.
Yeah. It is George. You're right.
George
Georgi.
It's a complicated
Dej.
George.
Georgie
Yeah.
boy.
George Georgi Dej.
We'll call him Georgie boy.
I like it.
Anyway, so World War II ends and Romania progressively fell under the influence of the USSR. And in 1947, the Communist Party seized power completely, overthrowing the Romanian king.
Bye.
So the leader of the Communist Party was Georgie boy. And
The Romanian king was heard to have said, "Where am I supposed to go?"
yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know what they did with him. Do you know, Mike? Did they kill him?
I don't know anything about this, but you'd think he would have tried to get out of there, or
Yeah.
maybe they killed him. I don't know.
Well,
I always figured Mike knew every aspect of every cold, wind-blown, forgotten area of Eastern Europe.
Don't know Romania.
Don't know Romanian.
Not interested.
Oh,
wow. Harsh words. So Georgie boy, he remembered Ceaușescu from prison, and he rewarded Ceaușescu, and he made him the head of the Ministry of Agriculture and also a general in the army.
He didn't make him like the minister of shoes.
that's what I was gonna say. You know about agriculture from the shoemaker shop?
That's a good point.
I guess in prison he read a book about agriculture.
Yeah. Well, his dad was a farmer.
That's a farmer. Yes.
Oh, right.
Yes.
But he ran away when he was 11. But still,
That's true.
he probably heard his dad say, "We need more access to fences."
Yeah. It's like a simple fix. There's no fences in Romania. Anyway,
Farms are just running into other people's farms.
So while Ceaușescu was doing this, he helped arrest over 80,000 peasants while expropriating land.
Okay.
He whatted all those peasants?
So the government is like, we're taking this farmland because it's a
Yeah.
communist takeover, and
Right.
he arrested 80,000 peasants.
That's agriculture.
Yeah,
In
and
Romania.
they're rebelling. They're going, "Don't take our land." And he's
What the
going,
hell?
Sorry, you're under arrest, and you have a right to remain silent.
What's my crime? You've been arrested for growing potatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Anyway, so he's kind of this, it's a pretty crazy time there in Romania, and in
Does romaine lettuce come from there?
Okay, let's get on this.
I'm so sorry.
Producer Jamie, hang on.
I'm so
Romaine
sorry.
Lettuce. Where's it from? Who's
This
it
is
for?
our first one all back since the live show.
Okay, romaine lettuce is native to the Mediterranean and the Middle East and has been cultivated for thousands of years.
Aw.
So it was
Well, what the
originally
fuck?
considered a weed in the Mediterranean.
Roman Empire. Roman Empire.
Roman Empire.
Don't tell my
Yes.
kids that when I give them a salad for dinner.
And in
You're
the
eating-
14th century, it was known as Avignon lettuce. How
Ah.
about that? So nothing to do with Romania, sadly.
Romania named themselves after the lettuce, though, because they liked it so much.
Well, the flag is not even made of any kind of material. The flag is lettuce.
It's like how my country is called Kit Kat Baronia. All right. Did I mention that I'm a dad?
Papa?
No more jokes.
So it's 1965.
Beatles. Bob
Much
Dylan,
better time in the world.
Motown. Yeah.
Yeah. And the leader, Georgie Boy, he died.
Shit.
He stopped living, and he had no obvious successor.
No.
So
Did he know he was gonna die, or it just happened?
I don't have a ton of info about that. It might have been, let's just say, a heart attack.
Okay.
But I'm making that up. Anyway, members of the Romanian Communist Party, they're looking around. Who should be the leader? How about Nicolae Ceaușescu? He's been a good agriculture guy. So Ceaușescu becomes the general secretary. And he immediately begins a campaign of power consolidation. Immediately, he changes from saying it's a People's Republic, and he says now it's a socialist republic. And instead of being the general secretary, he kind of changed the role of the leader to be called president, and which made him head of state instead of just head of the party. Like he basically, gave himself all the power very quickly.
Right.
Yeah. Secretary,
Yeah.
doesn't sound as powerful
As president, yeah. He immediately rounded up all his political opponents and imprisoned them.
I shall now be known as your secretary.
Yeah, Darth Vader is Darth Secretary. I am Secretary Darth Vader.
Secretary of the
Can I-
interplanetary. What's it? Yeah.
Is there anything you'd like me to type up? Does anyone want tea or coffee?
Do you want me to give you a BJ under your desk? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the terrible old times of the bad men.
Old times.
I just accidentally tugged on this, but it's probably fine.
Yeah, as long as it's okay. Yeah.
Check.
Yep.
Okay, good. Sorry. So, interestingly, you'd think of an Eastern European communist state, you'd think they'd be very friendly with the USSR, but actually he was pretty antagonistic with the USSR.
Whoa.
In the 60s, he ended press censorship and withdrew from the Warsaw Pact. He also condemned the Soviet-led 1968 invasion of Czechoslovakia. So in these particular ways, he was a little bit progressive, I guess.
And they didn't just invade Romania, the Soviets. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Weird.
I wonder
that's
why.
what I was wondering. But I think they were quietly really broke, right?
I guess, but they invaded Czechoslovakia.
Afghanistan.
Anyone who wanted to be a democracy, usually they rolled in tanks or something.
Yeah.
Right,
As far as I
especially
know.
that
Yeah,
part of
yeah.
the world where it's
Yeah.
like, the West and Russia fighting
Yeah.
for influence.
Especially, over there for them, it was just like taking like 8 tanks down the 401.
Yeah. Stop at an en route, get a fucking Timmy's, and keep on
All
going.
these guys with
Life
helmets.
is a highway.
Yeah, but these guys like halfway like out of tanks holding coffee to go coffees. And stuff.
You know what, guys? I've started drinking coffee. I never really
It's the
drank
best.
it before, but I've been
What?
getting cappuccino.
Genie.
Lactose-free.
It's so
Nice.
good, eh?
It is good.
Do you like it?
Mhm.
I do.
Well, congrats.
Thanks. Anyway,
It's because we don't live in a communist country.
that's right.
We have freedom.
Freedom.
You know what? Have you guys heard of Joe Rogan?
Yeah, he's that really, really funny stand-up comedian, right?
Yeah, but he also has a podcast now.
Really?
Yeah. It's called Rogan Alert or something like that.
Oh, cool.
But apparently on it for about a year or two now, he's been disseminating disinformation about Canada, saying that we're actually not free here and we are limited in our freedoms because of our socialist government.
That's crazy.
Oh my God.
Do you guys feel like that? I just was like, when I heard that, I was like, what?
You know what? I remember.
Who has more freedom, us or those guys
It's
right now?
insane. He really does talk about us like we've been in North Korea, and it's
Yeah.
psychotic.
That's bizarre,
And people
right?
believe it.
Yeah, they're deporting 11 million people down there. You're not allowed to be gay or trans down there anymore. They've got medieval laws about schools, and it's like, all right, go off, king.
Well, they do say people who earn hundreds of millions of dollars are the most in touch with what's going on,
That's
with the regular
probably it.
people.
Mm-hmm. Fantasyland.
Well, you know who also didn't have some really awesome opinions on social policies?
Who?
Nicolae fucking Ceaușescu.
But I thought he was for the people of Romania. That's what it sounded like.
He said he was, but it was a bit
What
weird about
happened?
babies. He banned abortion and also contraception.
Okay.
So,
Because it doesn't feel as natural, right?
well,
He made a speech on the radio in Romania. It's like, it
Yeah.
doesn't
I
feel
hate
as
condom.
natural.
I always lose it.
yeah, too hard opening wrapper.
Hold on.
Yeah, well, he was like actually psychotic about this in an extreme way.
Oh.
Like women who had miscarriages were inspected by police to make sure she didn't have an abortion, and those were without children were interrogated about their sexual and personal lives. Like he was really intense and insane
That's
about it.
freaky. It sounds like the States right now.
Yeah. In
The freest country on the planet.
In 1966, they started rewarding mothers who had more than 5 children, and women were to be monitored monthly by gynecologists.
Did they wear the Handmaid's Tale hoods?
I mean, might as well have.
Jesus.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
So this was obviously horrible, and many women died from illegal abortions.
Right.
And also, this all led to a massive swell in the Romanian population, which sadly led to a major increase in kids who were in orphanages because families had to abandon kids. They had too many to afford.
I remember that being a constant sort of background news story when I was a kid, the Romanian orphans. There would always have these like
Yes.
reports of like there's thousands of these Romanian
I don't
orphans.
know this story.
Um,
Romania, land of the orphanages?
Yeah, isn't
Yeah.
that horrible? Because people didn't, they were actively fighting them not having children, and then the people couldn't afford their children.
Maybe
and
he was a huge fan of Charles Dickens?
Maybe, or Annie.
imagine a Romanian Annie.
Oh, wouldn't that be good?
I'm not laughing at the actual real life situation. I'm laughing at my friend's jokes.
The sun will come out tomorrow.
They actually don't even have sun in most of Eastern Europe.
No, they made it illegal in 1920.
All heat and light just comes from various furnaces.
I just pictured the sun like a door of bars at a jail cell closing on the sun. Stay in there.
A beautiful sunset.
The sun is in solitary confinement.
And Mike, you're allowed to make these jokes because you have Eastern European background.
Yes.
Yes, it's true.
So for an Eastern European country, Ceaușescu was actually pretty pro-West. They were the first Warsaw Pact country to recognize West Germany and also to receive a U.S. president. Richard Nixon visited.
Really?
Yeah.
He went to Warsaw. What's the capital? Bucharest.
Bucharest, yeah. So Ceaușescu was trying to cultivate an image of being an open and practical communist leader, different than the USSR. He wanted to be seen as an international statesman, so he visited the U.S., he visited England, among other places. So he's trying to like have this different image, new branding. But the country wasn't doing great. He intensely industrialized and relied heavily on the peasant class. And things did get a little better, like they had better hospitals and schools and stuff. He admired leaders like Mao and Kim Il-sung, and he admired their well-developed cults of personality and how they were communist but operated independently of the USSR.
Like emperors.
So he was a guy who would put big murals and pictures of himself everywhere, right? Ceaușescu?
Yes, exactly.
Like-
Yeah, in 19...
It's the only way for people to remember who you are. And when you say industrialized, do you know what exactly it was?
I guess building factories and, it was probably a very...
But when you're in like a hardcore communist country like that, what is like trade like for you?
Well, I don't know, but I guess in theory the businesses might be owned by the government, I guess, or at least everything very controlled by the government rather than private companies. So I don't really know.
Yeah.
I guess trade might be similar because that's kind of a national. But man, I don't know. Maybe Mike would know.
No, I don't know.
Ch-ch-choo.
Anyway, so in 1971, he declared these new ideological proposals in kind of a North Korean cult of personality style that he called the July Theses, which is a nice sounding name. July Theses.
July Theses. Say it 10 times. 10.
Yeah.
I can't even speak.
When I think of when I think of July, it makes me happy. I think of the sun, walking in the park,
Writing your theses
Yeah.
on the beach.
Unfortunately, though, the July Theses ushered in a new period of repression and state control, as well as ideological grooming, the expansion of propaganda, which included propaganda plays and artwork. He wanted to centralize arts and literature and have that all come from the party itself.
Imagine if our government wrote and produced TV shows, or Canadian politicians were in bands.
We'd be perfect because Trudeau was a drama teacher.
Drama teacher? He could be.
We'd have amazing,
Yes.
feel good. I bet if Trudeau had to write anything, I'm thinking rom-com.
A funny rom-com about two people who meet in Whistler, BC, at a
Yes.
ski resort.
Yeah, or Mont-Tremblant, because he's the Quebecer.
Yeah. And it's him. He wrote himself as the lead, even though he's 50 plus. And he'd be, who would the love interest be? Who's a Canadian actress? Who could play?
The girl from Mean Girls with blonde hair, who I'm forgetting.
Canadian?
Yeah. What the hell's her name? She's really famous. Oh, my God. Chris is Googling something.
Chris, do you know who the Canadian actress in Mean Girls is?
You know who I'm talking about. Everybody knows who I mean.
Yeah. It's I served her at Fresh.
Of
Rachel
course.
McAdams.
Oh,
Rachel
McAdams
McAdams.
and Justin Trudeau starring in a 100% Canadian rom-com with music by the
Weaker Thans.
Weaker Thans.
Who I like. You know what? Justin should start dating a Canadian actress now. Come on. Let's have some fun with this.
Yes.
What's Rachel McAdams doing? What's
Yeah.
Kim Cattrall dated Pierre Trudeau Sr.
My God. Imagine
she should date him now.
If Justin hooks up with his dad's old girlfriend.
It's every man's dream to date his deceased father's ex-girlfriend. You know?
That's a nightmare. Anyway, so you see what he's doing. He likes the idea of a cult of personality. In 1973, it was the Middle Eastern oil embargo. So Romania thought, all right, we'll start selling our oil and we could take advantage of this. And they did. And he actually, he wanted Romania to have an influence around the world. So he actually gave a lot of money to third world aid programs,
Right.
which he just hoped would increase Romania's prestige and influence. And then he sort of hoped they'd make that money back that they were sending around the world. They'd make that back on oil. But it didn't really do that. Romania, unfortunately, was super inefficient, and they just didn't manage this whole process well of selling their oil.
I feel like he was the only one trying to do stuff, and everyone else was daydreaming.
Kind of, yeah.
Because they were starving and tired.
Yeah. I think so.
That's the thing. I feel like fascist regimes are not good for morale ultimately.
I think you're right.
Have you noticed that? So it's like you want to whip everyone into shape and have them be slave labor for you. You got to make them feel a little bit free.
You got to have some nice state-produced art and
Yeah.
music. That
Let
they
them
can
make their
relax
own
to.
art.
No.
Oh, really?
No, only the mayor and senators and cabinet ministers are allowed to make art. Or
Why don't you relax this weekend and make a painting of my face?
Good news, citizens of Romania. There's a new prestige TV series about the Minister of Agriculture.
There's a Ceaușescu adult coloring book that we just released.
You like Lego? Well, we have a Romanian version of Lego, and it's a bunch of oil barrels you can make.
So
It is I do find that conflict hard because personally when I sit around thinking about how could I rule a country myself, and we are in Canada, and right now we're going through a crisis of different versions of patriotism right now. It's like, how do you unify everyone? And I feel like treating them like utter shit doesn't kind of whip everyone together for productivity's sake. You know what I
I
mean?
think you're right. Do you guys think that Trump in his second term will pass an executive order where it's like NBC has to bring back The Apprentice starring me, and there's going to be like, and everyone has to watch the new episodes?
I mean, half the country would love that.
Yeah.
I mean, at least a quarter of the country literally thinks he's Jesus, and they have pictures of Jesus all through their house. Hey, Jesus is finally the president.
There he is.
There he is. Big old fat Jesus. Imagine you couldn't get Jesus on a cross because his ass was so fat. Am I going to get killed? You can cut that out.
No.
Fine. You guys say one then.
Oh.
You guys have to say a bad joke about the new leader to make it fair.
About the new leader of
Who?
America.
You mean Mr.
America.
Cheeto? That's mine.
Oh, come on. That's a safe bet.
I think he's just full of hot air, and we got to open the window and let the hot air get out.
Oh, Mike, that is woo.
Yes.
Dude, those are some
Spitting.
deep underground resistance words. We got to open the window and let the hot air out.
Open
Who's
the window
with
of
me?
freedom.
Yeah, who's with me?
So I'll summarize kind of like what Ceaușescu did here. Okay, so he also built a lot of big projects. You know, he really wanted to make Romania grand. He built the Parliamentary Palace, which is a building that has 1,100 rooms and is the largest civilian government building in the world as measured by volume.
Wow.
And like totally overbuilding, of course. Even now, much of the building remains empty because it's larger than the parliament needs, though there are like museums and stuff in there. Okay, so...
And I heard there's like skate parks and like danceteria.
Yeah, exactly. Laser tag. He built...
It's like there's a Dave and Buster's in part of it.
So...
Did he build Romanian Disneyland as well? But instead of a magic mountain, it has a magic factory, and you have to work there, or else you get arrested.
So
Yay.
he built a lot of these big...
It's a small world.
So he built a lot of big projects like that. Big parliament. He tried to make a Black Sea channel. You know, he's like giving money to third world countries and trying to sell oil, but he sunk the country into enormous debt by doing these mega projects that didn't work out, basically. And then, you know, like I said, he's pushing this cult of personality. And then because he had fucked over the country with just projects and plans that didn't work out, he had to basically freeze and starve the population to pay the debt that they made. So it all kind of was taken out on the people.
Sounds like he was a huge fan of screwing up the same way as Mao Zedong.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I saw you'd elaborate. I don't know.
Well, like the Great Leap Forward
Yeah.
was like
Over ambitious that he just killed everyone.
He wanted to industrialize China in like 5 years or something, some like very set, short period of time, and he made all the peasants and farmers start like producing steel and making steel instead of farming. And then because they were doing that, no one grew the crops, and then people, like millions of people, starved.
Well, it sounds exactly very similar. Like he made all these grand projects, they didn't work out, and so as a result, in 1981, they had to begin a program of austerity to pay off the enormous national debt. So that meant food, clothing, and food were rationed. This all, of course, led to a big economic crisis.
Food was rationed twice.
Oops. Household electricity was limited by the state. Material prices went through the roof. Obviously, it was like working conditions were bad. Miners went on strike, and they claimed that union leaders were given like 5. And so miners went on strike, and the claim was that Ceaușescu made the union leaders get chest x-rays intentionally to give them cancer, like without protection.
What?
Yeah, like really fucked
That'll
up.
help.
So, yeah, everything's totally fucked up. And ludicrous food rationing levels. People are standing in queues for hours and -20 to get their ration, and sometimes it'll run out before they get there.
This is like the worst, like all the nightmare visions of like standing in line for bread.
Exactly.
In, like, miserable weather in communist countries.
Exactly. Relentless disinformation, no freedom of press, no freedom of speech, nonstop rallies of celebrations for his amazing achievements. Cold and darkness in schools and workplaces because they were saving electricity. Crazy stuff. So all that economic stuff was horrible. He also he insisted that HIV was not sexually transmitted. And as we know, contraception was banned.
So where did he get that idea from?
I think he
like his own mind, like he meditated on it, and that's the conclusion he came to.
People didn't even think he was literate. Like he was semi-literate.
Well, he ran away from home at 11, so I don't know.
Yeah.
So you have this country where you can't use contraceptives, and the leader doesn't think that HIV is sexually transmitted. I'm imagining that leads to a bad situation.
Absolutely. Yeah, like especially the gay community in Bucharest had to smuggle in condoms from Yugoslavia.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
And
those Yugoslavian condoms too.
Yeah, it's kind of like getting a Yugoslavian car.
They're diesel powered condoms.
3 wheels.
Yeah, exactly.
This condom has hole in both end.
So,
yeah, it's like a Chinese finger trap.
So all
it's
that
it's just a box of frozen pierogies.
So all that's going on. Remember all that shit about
Is this the most racist episode in regards to
We're
white
just
people
satirizing life in Eastern Europe
during a hard time that we actually feel great compassion and empathy for.
Yeah.
It's just you laugh away the tears.
Yes.
Yes.
If you don't laugh, you'll cry. You know.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So all that horrible economic stuff is going on.
Also, we're drastically. I'm so sorry.
No,
James.
it's okay.
I'm seriously so sorry. We're drastically in North America, maybe even the whole world. We're all drastically about to lose immense freedoms, probably.
Woo!
Woo! So we're just.
I don't need it.
So we're just we have too much freedom to be honest. But so we're kind of getting used to it. We're kind of like we're learning about what it will be like through these stories.
Absolutely.
In a few years, we'll be the ones smuggling in the Yugoslavian condoms.
And hopefully someone in Romania will have a podcast that does a story about us.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be pretty cool. Well, so all this horrible economic stuff is going on, HIV thing. And remember I told you guys about there's too many kids and there's so many kids in orphanages. And you know what? In this time of austerity where people don't have enough food or electricity or anything, yeah, the orphanages were not doing great. It was very grim.
Huh.
It was estimated that between 1966 and 1989, something like 20,000 unnecessary deaths of children just because of their horrible children's homes.
Good God.
And this part's not very funny at
I
all.
thought you were going to say there's giant kitchens in the basement of the orphanages.
No. Probably the most horrific situation involved disabled children who were taken away from their families and institutionalized. Some kids died of frostbite. Some were eaten by rats. Hey, whatever way you want to spin it, having children eaten by rats is just not good. That's just a note I wrote. Like, that's a sign your country's not doing well. If rats are eating your kids, yeah.
I'm going to cry.
That's not good.
That's
good.
insane. Okay, everybody take a moment to close your eyes and imagine being eaten to death by a rat. What does that feel like?
Ow. Oh, yeah, I don't like it at all.
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
It doesn't even register as something that makes sense to my mind. That's so incredibly heinous.
It is.
Good God.
And by the way, too,
poor kids.
Ceaușescu was super concerned about his public image. And for years, even when he was an old man, all official photographs of him showed him in his late 40s. And Romanian state television was under strict orders to portray him in the best possible light. They had to take great care to make sure that his height, which was only 5'6", was never emphasized on screen.
Oh
Not
my
only
God.
5'6", no offense.
That's because he ran away from home when he was only 5'6". I just pictured a portrait of him saluting like a military general, but instead of jets flying over his head in the sky, it's like a squadron of rats. Can someone paint that, please?
Once a TV producer aired footage of Ceaușescu stuttering and blinking, and that guy was banned for 3 months from working there. So
I thought he was going to be
you get
killed.
the vibe. I feel like I didn't nail the economic stuff, but probably the nuts and bolts of it are probably a bit boring anyway. But you get the idea of what's going on. He took over, he fucked up economically, and then were in such bad debt they had to take it out on the people and go through this program of austerity.
You want your country to feel like a Budweiser commercial.
Yeah.
If you want genuine productivity.
And there are no Budweiser commercials that I can remember that show thousands of orphans being eaten alive by rodents.
This Bud's for you. That's insane. Pouring the Budweiser on rats all over your body. Get off!
Party for the rats. Yeah. No, it's awful. He's doing a bad job not voting for him.
Agreed.
Not
Well,
voting for
Mike,
him.
it's so
Don't
funny.
have the right to, probably.
Mike, it's funny you say that, because in 1987, the people of Romania, they all thought the same thing. They go, you know what? Life in Romania fucking sucks right now. This blows. Like, we have it bad. So they got together and they put on a rebellion.
All right.
And armed forces and the secret police quelled 20,000 people who were protesting the rationing of energy and food. Many of those protesters were arrested and tortured. So now it's 1989, and Romania is one of the last remaining hardline communist states left in Europe. And so in 1989, there was kind of a powder keg situation because the Romanian government tried to evict a Hungarian pastor named Laszlo, who was accused by the state of inciting ethnic hatred. And the public viewed this as wrong. And this sort of was a powder keg moment with all the anger and resentments that blew up into these huge protests, which just morphed from protesting the treatment of this pastor to protesting the government generally.
Right.
And the police are going, uh-oh, this is a pretty big protest right now. This is a big threat. So they started shooting and firing on protesters. So in an attempt to quell the overall mood, Ceaușescu staged something in Bucharest. It was supposed to look like a spontaneous march in support of his regime. So Ceaușescu goes to Revolution Square and he does this speech about how great everything is going. Hey, we all love me and we love the country and it's all going great, right, guys? But the crowd shouts insults and they boo and they're mad and it's getting crazy. And Ceaușescu tries to order calm by raising his right hand. And I'm pretty sure this is footage you can watch on YouTube. I think I watched this. Ceaușescu's raising his hand for the crowd to stop, but they don't. So Ceaușescu retreats and takes cover in a government building. I mean, it's pretty exhilarating, really, imagining this guy's been your kind of evil dictator for 20 years and you're like getting back at him, Yeah. So the next day, full-blown crisis, which is amazing, just like from a crowd showing we hate you now, that can totally change everything. So it's a full-blown crisis. The defense minister committed suicide, but people think Ceaușescu assassinated him. It's unclear. Okay. No information if he had depression or anything like that. Anyway, when the defense minister committed suicide / was killed, the army went, okay, now we're against Ceaușescu. So Ceaușescu tried one more speech, but people were throwing shit at him. Oh, yeah, this is on YouTube for sure. Ceaușescu's trying one last speech. People are throwing shit. Ceaușescu escapes from the roof of the building by helicopter.
Whoa.
The secret police are trying to maintain control. They're shooting people. Probably like 1,000 people died in this whole event. Eventually, so Ceaușescu gets in a helicopter. Eventually, the army's like, you have to land this helicopter. They do, and he was arrested by the army. Ceaușescu stood accused of genocide. He was found guilty, and his sentence executed
On Christmas
Wow.
Day.
on Christmas Day.
In the morning.
And-
I'll be shot for Christmas.
And Mike,
Do you hear what I hear? Oh my God,
And Mike,
that's wild.
I think you're gonna find this beautiful because I know
Okay.
you're in a relationship and
Yes, I am.
and it's very sweet to hear your stories of your relationship, and I think
Thank
you'll
you.
find this lovely.
Thank you.
Ceaușescu, after he was arrested,
Mhm.
he asked that he and his wife be shot by firing squad together.
Romeo alert.
Was she
Wow.
even like? Was
I
she
know.
even sentenced
I don't
to
know.
execution?
When he said that, was she like, sorry, what? What's this?
Yeah.
What's this motherfucker saying to you right now?
Hold my hand, dear.
Yeah,
Nicolae, we need to have a little chat.
yeah. This was a deal breaker.
I just married him for all the access to free agriculture pamphlets.
So
So yeah, Christmas Day, Santa's flying around the damn earth.
have
trying to
you
give
been a good
presents.
little? Who's been a good little boy and a bad little boy this year? Oh,
Yeah, and they lined up Ceaușescu and his wife, and
Oh.
they
Damn,
filmed
dude.
it. It was broadcast on Romanian TV.
right.
They killed him,
Wow.
and they buried him and his wife in plain graves.
Wow.
Not even something fun, a bit of flair.
Yeah.
No papa call.
Yeah.
So apparently, when they broadcast that on TV, that was the Romanian equivalent of like the series finale of Cheers or like the
MASH.
of MASH. Yes,
Yeah.
everyone was watching it at home.
Macy's
Yes.
parade.
Yeah, you remember when Friends used to do double?
There was a big
Yes.
Snoopy balloon
Yes,
flying
right.
overhead when they assassinated them.
Well, remember when Friends used to have like Brad Pitt would guest star and they do a double episode? It was
Yes.
literally like that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Or Doctor Who Christmas
Oh, right,
special
right.
Christmas.
for our listeners
No,
over,
you're
the,
right. Yeah,
over the
yeah.
pond. So
The Office Christmas
it
special?
smashed all
Oh.
ratings records and
That's awesome.
made a ton of money for the channels.
Damn.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, Nicolae Ceaușescu, pretty bad.
That's wild.
Bad guy.
Yeah.
Dictator.
And emphasis on the first syllable.
How that dictate.
Dick.
How that dick gonna tate? That's I guess if you're having sex with him, but
Right, right.
I would never. But
Come on along, dear. We're about to be executed.
Oh, my wife. She's running late again.
Yeah.
Oh,
Women.
oh, she has to do her makeup.
sorry, Army firing squad. She's still in the bathroom.
Yeah.
She's
You
doing
know
her
how-
hair.
You know how long it takes women to get ready before they get executed?
Shut up.
Shut up, Shut up, Chewbacca.
Chewbacca, how do you plead? Chewbacca was executed on Christmas Day.
Chewie, is that you?
Oh shit!
Oh, shit. Yeah. Come on, Chewbacca. Ceaușescu, is that you? Come on, kid. We gotta execute Ceaușescu. Does that sound like Harrison
Yeah,
Ford?
that's really good, honestly.
Come on, kid.
Mr. Ceaușescu, we must escape this area immediately.
R2. Well, perhaps it's time to be paid a visit by the
Evil amateur.
Oh, here he comes, carrying a portrait of himself when he was a younger, stronger, more handsome man. He's also got, he seized some Yugoslavian condoms that from a criminal who was trying to smuggle them, and he's very short. It's the Evilometer.
Hi, Evilometer.
Hi.
Hi.
I think you guys should go first because I haven't had a chance to think about it yet.
9.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Rats, disabled kids,
Yeah.
HIV, starvation, so much.
You know what? I don't even need to go last. You're right. He's a 9.
I'm going to give him a 2. No, I'm going to give him a 9 as well. This guy's
Yeah.
a stinker.
He's the
And-
flying 9.
I do like that he learn how to make shoes. In my life, I wish I knew how to make my own shoes. You'd save yourself quite a bundle over the years.
Oh my gosh, my New Balance cost $200.
What I learned from this story is learning to make your own shoes drives you to madness.
Shoemaker takes you. Shoemaker and the Elves, the dark side. Shoemaker.
Shoemaker. Shoemaker.
Well, let this be a warning to everyone listening who wants to become a Romanian dictator. Don't do it.
And Mike, I think you talking Ceaușescu just got you giddy, and it just led to a funny
Shoemaker
expression. But
Dictators make us act silly.
yeah. I've realized we hadn't done a dictator in a long time.
No.
You know what? Romania is in the news even today.
Yeah.
As we mentioned earlier, because the Trump administration wants to pressure them to release Andrew Tate from house arrest.
Another episode we did.
We should talk about that on the bonus episode we're about to do.
We're doing one?
Yeah.
Shoemaker. The thing is speaking of dictators, there's people in the States that we know and love. We love you. There's people in Canada in the States that think Canada has dictators. There's people in Canada that think the States has a dictator.
Yeah, man.
The world is going dictator nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying either way is true, no matter what.
Not saying either way is right or either way is wrong.
But to all our American friends who got sad that we booed, or some Canadians booed your national anthem at sporting events.
This is Chris's "I Have a Dream" speech.
Sporting.
I have a dream, and that's some Americans and some Canadians get along together, and other
They get
ones
into a little
it
rickety
doesn't
plane.
seem like it's gonna really work out.
Get in a little rickety plane, fly to the sky, work it out in the sky when they're all terrified.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Right?
Everybody needs to come together and experience turbulence on a little plane.
Yeah. Or
and you will land much more happier and at peace with one another.
go under the water in a little homemade submarine, and everyone's scared, and then they'll work out their differences, and then the submarine hopefully doesn't just implode.
Right. Anyways, we all got to come together.
Yeah.
And love is the answer, etc.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That was another great episode of